Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hello.
How's everyone? Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Good to see you all. Let's see. Just got two. Haven't got their video on. Anita and Linda, your videos are not on. So if they're not on, I can't really check in just in case I come in and check in and see if I can help you progress.
Okay. I'll try my best. I've got you going through my TV, so it's a bit difficult to get my phone up, but I'll try.
There you go. Okay. And then Sheila, you just need to put your screen towards your mat. So in case I come into the screen, if I can help you adjust. And if you have your screens like more towards the mat, still got a lot more of your ceiling, Sheila. So maybe a bit further towards the ground. Yeah, that's it. That's great. Kay, you've got the mat. I can see you. So the only person I can't see now is still Anita. Oh, you're in. Well done. You've got your video on. All right. I'm going to mute you all. I know you're muted. You may not be muted on the other side. I'm going to mute you all and just reduce this writing so I can see you. Great. Hello. So I've just muted you. I'm sorry, Dimitri. If you want to unmute yourself to ask me anything or tell me anything, I think it's your first time.
Hello, it's my first time with yoga ever. So I will be maybe a little bit slow and I'll try to do it. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Absolutely. So first ever yoga class?
Yeah.
Oh, it's never too late to join. But look, yoga is a very broad subject. It's a broad subject. So the yoga you do with me may not be the yoga you may do with somebody else. There are so many different schools of practice and thought, but the principles are all the same. We're working through using your limbs to help you benefit your body, your organs, your circulation, your organic system, your respiratory system. So the principles are the same. It just depends how we approach it. So I approach it very much from the Iyengar school of thought because I'm Iyengar trained, but I also do all different types of yoga practices. And the way I practice with all of you from the London Osteoporosis Clinic is more about looking for strength, stability, and balance. So we're looking after our joints, we're looking after anywhere that we need to create space so we get the circulation going. And that's what it's all about. Circulation, reduce inflammation, take the pressure off the joints, because in life, that's what it's meant to be about. We just want to get our body at ease, out of any form of disease or discomfort. So it's just working through ease, looking for peace wherever we go. So if you're in a yoga pose and it's calling at you or the body is talking to you, you've got to listen, because if it's not coming into ease, you've got to adjust. And that's life. I mean, it's not just yoga. What you do on your mat, you take off your mat. It's life. If something is difficult, if something's not easy, if something's raising your anxiety or whatever, you've got to step away. Sometimes we can't. Situations we can't. Relationships with ourselves or with anyone else around us. But we use the tools from the practice to go within and find the tools you need to basically look for balance, really. And at this stage in our lives, I don't think we want much more, really. We just want balance and a little bit of peace and try to get away from all the noise we're living with in this world right now. So, yeah, get on your mats. I'm going to do a really nice, slow yin style practice this morning. We've done a lot of standing and a lot of talking about strength. So we have done a little bit, Dimitris, with everyone else. But if you keep joining, you will catch up with it. I'm just going to let one other lady in and then we'll get going. If you have a yoga foam block that you can please sit on, because we are doing a little bit of sitting and it's going to be a very grounded practice this morning. The last few weeks has been very much standing strength, working through all of that, but we're doing a very grounded yin style practice. And yin is basically asking us to slow it down. So you've got a yoga mat, any supports. I sometimes use a blanket when I'm doing this yin style practice. It's still yoga. We're still doing yoga poses, but I'm going to lower my screen so you can see me better. It's basically the practice is saying slow down. Slow down, observe yourself, observe all the body parts that we're going to start using, and just listen to all the messages that you receive. And the key is, because we slow it down, I've got a blanket going because it's just nice to have a blanket if we're on our knees or if you're lying down, because it's a very slow, progressive practice, okay? So yoga block to sit on. You might have a yoga break. You can have one or two of these. The reason I say to sit on is it helps you elevate the lower back, and it helps to stabilize the pelvis, okay? But we're starting now. We're going to use this to help us in what we're doing. We're starting with something called toe squat, and it's not pleasant, but we try. You're going to curl your toes under, as many as you can, even the little one. Okay, and whatever's going on, you may have bunions, you may have tight ankles, you may be working through whatever through the feet. I have arthritic changes in one of my feet, so I need to keep that circulation going. And then you've got to also observe. So we've curled the toes under, I'm sitting on the heels, and I'm trying to sit up straight, and it's not pleasant, but as long as you can feel the difference between good pain and bad pain. If it's really painful, sharp pain, you need to come out and put your knees on this foam block, because then that elevates the knees, and then the sitting is not so intense. Okay? And we work our way through the feet. The more we open our feet, the more we work through the arches, the better we're going to get the energy coming through the legs. And if the circulation through the legs is working, it's going to come through the hips. And then anything through the pelvis, which is our center, is going to bring it up. So just take a few more moments if you can. I know there's a lot of this going on, coming forward. It's not easy to sit back and get the hands on the floor and open the chest. So there's a lot going on here. So the more we do, the better it gets. Believe you me, just trust the process. Try and get an exhalation in while you're here, if you can. And then from here, just come up. And if you haven't already put your knees on a foam block, I suggest you do, and you come onto the foam block. Okay, now, the reason I'm raising the knees is it helps to open the quads. If you don't have a foam block, maybe a foam pillow or something, but a yoga block is really ideal. If you haven't got one, then they're quite easy to get from Amazon or any yoga website. So we're on the knees. If you want to bring a chair, as you all know, I love working with a chair because it helps us to get stable. You don't have to. You can use a couple of yoga bricks. I'm going to give you lots of options. So there's a yoga chair. I call it a yoga chair because that's what I use it for. It's a chair we use in Iyengar yoga a lot. Any chair will do. If you have like a picnic chair or something from IKEA or a light dining room chair, just put it in front of you. You've got your foam block. And if you don't have a chair, use 2 bricks. And if you don't have bricks, even a little table, a coffee table, anything that you can take your hands on. So I'm just going to get my bricks as well, which I have moved back. Okay, so the bricks are there. I might go to the bricks. We've got the chair, we've got the foam block. Knees are on the foam block. So we start on the heels. Quick toe curl, because we will be coming back here. Do an exhale. And then we're bringing the right foot forward. You can take your hands on the bricks. You can take your hands on the chair. We're helping the right foot come forward underneath your chair or your stool or whatever you're using. If you can turn the back toes flat now, and if you can come onto the little toe side of the back foot. Okay, so the right foot came forward. You want to bend the right knee, and you just want to take your forearms on the chair, and you want to let that left quad descend to the ground. Let it open. Okay, and then just drop your head and exhale. So take this time to do some breathing. And so we're breathing in through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. So, Dimitrina, just move your right knee back a little bit so your brick goes back. So I don't want you to take yourself past the left knee, please. Okay. And then, Kathy, maybe you want to move your knee a little further towards your chair. The bent knee, the right knee. Is it the right knee? And then slide your left knee back. Yeah. So try and get a little more from the quad. Yeah. So those people that I can see, I can just adjust. Yeah. And then let the head go. So you can do some exhales. Yeah. So mother who's joined, is she there? Okay. And then try to not let that knee that you brought forward, because all of you have brought different feet forward, don't let that knee turn inwards. Because when you turn the knee inwards, it goes into the knee joint. So we don't want that. On the contrary, if your knee turns inwards, just turn that foot. So if you've got the left foot forward, turn the left foot to the left, the toes to the left. If you've got the right foot forward, turn the toes to the right. So you open through the hip. And then every exhalation, you want to try and soften the abdomen. And if you're exhaling through your mouth, it's easy to access the abdomen and the lower belly. If you want to try just normal breathing, inhale through the nose, it's soft, exhale through the nose. It's not so easy to access the lower belly unless we're practicing and we get our breath working much better for us. So one more exhalation here. And perhaps slide the back knee further back a little and get a little more from your quad. You just want to slide the knee off the brick a little bit and it'll happen by itself. There you go. Wonderful. So you get a really nice opening through the groin. And then very slowly, you need to work yourself back with both knees on your block or your brick, some of you are using, whatever support. Curl the toes under and sit on your heels. And when you go there, you'll find that you've dropped in the hip or the pelvis a little bit. Yeah, because where you opened your groins, you're going to find you're going to drop a little bit because you created space. And now, whichever foot you need to bring forward, so it's the other foot. Yeah, so set yourself up, try and do a right angle. Yeah, and then again, let's take the knee towards the chair. Most of you are using a chair, so that's great. And once you've set yourself up, get your forearms on the chair. Yeah. And take your time. Just allow the drop to come through the groins. Let the head go. Try not to be in the shoulders. Just release the shoulders and find your exhalation. Wonderful. And then the back toes, we don't want to leave curled under. We do want to come to the top of the foot, because those who can, when you bring the top of the foot on the floor, so come off curled toes, try to come off your curled toes. And when you roll onto the little toe side, you'll get a little shift through that corresponding groin and inner thigh. Try it. It's like a little message coming through and a little more opening coming through. So the turning of the feet, the turning of the toes is going to access your hips. And again, be mindful of the front knee not turning inward. And if it does, you're just going to turn the foot, the toes to the other side. So again, Dimitrina, you just need to move your right toes out to the right, not the foot, just the toes. Rotate, there you go. And then that'll open your hip. Yeah. And then you can drop a leg further in. That's it. Try not to sink through the shoulders. Soft exhalation. So I can't see you, Sheila, but as long as you can see me and hear me, because you've just gone back to the ceiling with the screen, it's not easy to access. I'm sorry, but so you know, I mean, there might be some of you that think, well, she's not adjusting us or can't. It's because I can't see you. And if I'm not, it's because you're doing fine. So one or the other.
Is that it better?
It's a little better, yeah. Yeah, I can see your red sofa now. So yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Well done. So, last exhalation, and then you're taking the front foot knee back, curling the toes under, and you're going to go ahead and sit on your heels. So go back to toe squat, see how you feel, sit on your heels and take a moment. And if you knew you were coming forward, try and go back a little bit. Yeah. Do an exhalation. There you go. Take a breath in and a breath out. And then from your toe squat, you will just bring yourself up. You'll go to your chair. You'll have your feet hip width. Bend your knees, put your forearms on the chair, and drop your head. And try and straighten the legs. And while you're there, look at your feet. Separate the toes. Bring the weight forward, because normally in a forward bend, it's not so easy to actually come forward in a forward bend. The fear of falling forward. But with the chair there, and with your forearms on the chair, it's so much more accessible. So kneecaps to thigh bones, press the inner heel, the outer heel, the big toe mound, the little toe mound, activate your legs, bring the weight forward towards the chair and then press the heels down. So again, there's this opening through the back of the legs, your glutes, your buttocks, everything is like spreading out and you're getting a nice opening and a very safe forward bending action. Yeah, and then the forearms just going to let you drop your head and walk closer to the chair, Sheila, or whatever you're using, much closer. And walk closer, Linda, to your chair. So your feet are actually underneath your hip bones. So walk much closer. That's it. And you can see your feet. Don't let the heels come in. Yeah, so if your heels tend to come in, which again they do, just nip them out a little bit. And then very slowly, you're going to take an exhale and go back and sit on your block or your brick, whatever you're using. Leave your chair there. Okay. So we're coming into something that we call half a butterfly. Okay. So I'm going to do it facing you, and then you can do it exactly how you are. So again, the reason for sitting on the brick, I mean, it's easy to sit on the block, but if you don't have a flat block, you can sit on a brick. We're doing half a butterfly. So we take the legs wide, and exactly the legs that you had that you opened on your forward bend. We've done the toe squat. We've had a little bit of opening here, and we've already opened here. So we're ready for this one. You're going to bend the left knee, and so you're a little bit wider than your hips to start, okay? You should be facing your chair, or you bring your chair in front of you, okay? You can just bring your chair in front of you if you wish. I'm doing it facing you so you can see. You can either have 2 yoga bricks in front of you or the chair. And the legs are a little bit wider than your hips. So half a butterfly, you bend the left knee and we're bringing the left heel just to rest here. We're just going to square off. Now, when we do that, you may not, your left knee may not descend to the ground. That's fine. If it doesn't descend and we don't have an opening on the left side, you would just put something to support the left knee. So it doesn't have to be a brick because you don't want to lift it up. You do want it to descend. It could be anything like a little folded mat. It could be a bit of your blanket. It could be a pillow. Anything that supports the back of your knee. So we keep the joint happy because we want this opening here. Okay. Those who were in last week, you remember we did that tree pose on the chair where we did the opening. Okay, we want to come forward in half a butterfly. Again, when we bend one knee and keep one leg straight and we try and come forward, invariably the weight goes on the bent knee side. It's just the way it is because we've got an opening in the groin. You want to take your awareness to the right thigh. Put your hands on the bricks or the hands on the chair. And it's about bringing the upper body forward in half a butterfly. And that's your personal extension forward. And as we come forward, we want straight arms if possible and open palms and spread the fingers away from one another. And then again, you go to your breathing. So you just release the chest, release the gaze, and take the gaze towards the ground. Once you're there, you go to your breath. You go back to the breathing that serves you best in this pose. So explore. The key is on the exhalation, can we take the exhalation towards the abdomen and soften? Because there's a lot of gripping, holding, tensing, perhaps going on. Because we're trying to stay in this ship. Again, you want to weigh down the right leg, the back of the right leg, flex the right foot, and see if you can maintain the distribution of weight, because we know we're leaning over on the left buttock a little bit more. Try and do one more inhalation in your back body, because you're folding forward. And then as you exhale, can the exhalation come through the front towards the belly? And after your next exhalation, use an inhale to come. You can bring the bricks back with you, or you just bring yourself back with your fingertips next to your hips and sit up. The fingertips always face forward, the elbows bend back, and so the chest can open. And really move the right thigh down, move the left thigh down, and try and elongate the sides of the trunk and keep the neck long. Soften through the abdomen. And then you take the left leg out, you adjust your seat, check in, and again, just observe both legs, fingertips next to your hips, move the thighs down. Every time we bend a knee and we try and come forward, it opens the groin. This hopefully has dropped a little further towards the ground, and right knee bends, same thing. So as you square off again, and again, notice, does that shin thigh go down? Again, if you haven't done this type of work, it'll take its time. We repeat 1 or 2 times to hopefully we'll start getting the opening. So you get your bricks. If you use bricks on the left side, use bricks on the right. If you use the chair, please go to the chair. Try and keep the extension the same on both sides, so we bring harmony through the center. And again, we want to have 2 straight arms, open palms, fingers really spread out, and notice, are you leaning towards the bent knee buttock? Can we come to the left thigh and move the left thigh down? We're going to keep the left leg active, moving through the thigh bone and finding a distribution, an even distribution of weight through the pelvis. And then when you're finally a little further forward, just releasing the head, gaze down, exhale. Observe your inhalation. Observe your exhalations. Take a little control and slow the exhalation down so it comes towards the abdomen. Softening, releasing. Exhale through the mouth at any time. Don't get stuck trying to breathe out. And notice, it takes time to work on the breathing because we want to develop our breathing. It's the breathing that's going to bring freedom and release through the body. When we're in any yoga pose or in life, wherever you choose to do that, take the awareness on the breath. Otherwise, the body is breathing by itself. We're here, we're all here, so we're obviously breathing, but it's when we have awareness on our breathing, we realize, gosh, it's a little bit shallow. We need to develop that. And then take, finally, your next exhalation, you'll take an inhale, you bring yourself. And it slowly does it. Yeah. And then again, straighten out the right leg. And you go back to the legs a little bit wider than the hips. Okay? And then just for a moment, we're going to just not spend too long. We're just going to come forward through the legs before we move on. So again, you've got these inner thighs. I'm not going too wide. If you want to go a little bit wider, you can. But you've got to have something under your tail. So you've got the lower back lifted a little bit. Now, again, you've got the 2 bricks. You've got the chair. If you're better on the chair, if the hands are higher, you'll get more space down the sides. Coming forward through the upper inner thighs is where you're coming from. You're not coming forward with your head. We're not trying to reach the floor. We are trying to come forward through the upper inner thighs going up to the ceiling. There's this rotation that's needed for the inner thighs to go up, for the sides of the trunk to come forward. A lot of us think that they can roll down to the floor. We can just hand forward. We want space. So again, blocks, chair, active legs, the back of the legs opening into the ground. We want to open the back of the knees without straining them, because the awareness is on the upper inner thighs, moving to the ground, the energy going up to the ceiling. Because the more you get grounded through the legs, the higher we go with our energy. Just going to do one exhale, just preparing the legs for the next posture. And then inhale, bring yourself up. Great. If you're using bricks, they go to the side. If you're using the chair, it stays where it is. We bring the legs together. And now you're going to bend the left knee again. So this time, it comes all the way up to your chest. So the left foot towards its own thigh. Now, we're crossing it over the right thigh. So we're crossing it over, but we don't want to land on the knee. It's definitely on the thigh. So you can hold on to the shin with your right hand so it doesn't slip. Nowhere near the knee, please. And it's above the knee, but it's not on the knee. So again, we're going to squeeze this left thigh over. We can have the chair over the right leg. Okay. If you've got the connection with the crossover from the left leg, we take the bricks. These bricks have lots of heights, by the way. They've got the flat one, they've got the medium size, and you can go high. So you can just be on the bricks, because there's half a shoelace. This is half a shoelace. We're just going over. We're just tying a little half a knot over the right leg. We want to extend over the thigh, hands on the chair. The chair can come all the way up to the bent knee. So your legs can go on the chair. You can bring the chair all the way forward and rest your forearms on the chair like so. And just let, it's going to help the back of the right thigh open into the ground. Put a little more space coming through. A very gentle hamstring stretch and opening. Yeah. And just fold over, forearms on the chair. If you're using the bricks, you've got the bricks. If you're using a little table, same thing. And just allow yourself to fold over that left thigh. Now there's a little bit of compression around the abdomen. And all we need to do is exhale through compression. Because in any part of our lives when we're feeling compressed, congested, in a bind, our best way out is to exhale through it. And then we take a deep breath in and a long exhalation out. And soften through the abdomen, please. And then take a And again, arm crossing, take your time and straighten the legs. So again, when you straighten the legs and you just observe, you put your fingertips next to your hips and you just observe, just feel, have you dropped a little more on that left leg compared to the right? Because when we again open the hips, open the groin, we're just going to connect further. It helps the joint go in, which means it's healthier for the joint rather than it be out or affect the outer hip. Okay, bend the right knee. And in a normal, I mean, when I teach in online, it's usually like I do 75, 80 minutes sometimes, because we stay a little bit longer in these postures. The longer we are, the more we're breathing, crossover, the more we're extending. So unfortunately, I only have half an hour with all of you, but I try and go over a little bit because there's no way I'm going to finish something purposeful in 25 minutes itself. I like to teach for at least up to 90 most days. Okay, so crossover, and as you cross again, we're nowhere near the knee, you're holding the ankle with the left hand, you're extending forward, and then take your supports, whatever they were on the other side, you please do them on this side. And then find your extension forward, set yourself up well, and exhale. And not all of us are going to get that full cross. Some of you might just be here, and if you're just here, you're interlocking and you're sitting up and you're just working your breath. So again, finding the extension, exhaling through it. Yeah, use your chair, because the chair will help you bring the sides of the trunk forward. It helps you create more space. We have a couple more exhalations here. Soften through the abdomen on the next exhalation. And then take an inhale. And very slowly bring yourself up. So eventually we work to full shoelace when we're doing something like this. I'm not doing that today. And then you come back out and you straighten the legs. And again, think about inner thighs going down. When you're sitting with straight legs, the inner thighs go down, the outer thighs come up, fingertips next to your hips, just sit up tall, take deep breath. Exhale. So we are going full extension with straight legs now, like we did standing forward bend. Can you do seated forward bend? Leave your hands by your hips, because invariably when we bring the hands forward, we want to just bring the head forward. We do not want to bring the head forward. We definitely want to bring the heart space forward. It's the heart space of the hips. The more space of the hips, the more extension through the sides of the trunk. So how far can we come with the fingertips next to the hips? Take a moment here. Try not to force anything to happen. The energy is coming from the heels of your feet through the back of the legs. This is a life nerve stretch. It comes from the heels, behind the knees, behind the thighs, buttocks, and through the back body. We have these energy channels coming through, right? So the three main channels, right, left, and central channel. So we want to be working through those channels. Then you've got your bricks, or you've got your chair. You're just bringing your hands on your bricks or your hands back on the chair, bringing the chest forward, head down, full exhalation. We'll do one more inhale once you're there. Yeah. And then a full exhale. After your next exhalation, take a breath, please. And you're going to bend your knees and come onto your knees now. So hopefully you can have your knees on either your mat or your blanket. We're going to open the heart space now. We're going to give the legs a little rest. It's the last pose of the session. We'd love to have done another 6 or 7 at least. Come onto your knees. We're going 4-point kneeling. So let's even it out. Palms in front of you. So we've got the hands a little bit further away than the shoulders. The knees underneath your hips. You can keep your toes curled under for this one because we will be going back to the heels. You're here. So find your center now. From your center, we want to come into melting heart pose where we want to not disturb the hips. We want to walk the hands forward. May I suggest that not all of us are going to get our heart space on the floor and walk our hands forward, right? So we do our best. If you want to have the brick on the floor underneath your heart space, then well, at least I can land on the brick. That's an option. So we're not collapsing. If you want to put your forearms when we go forward, that's an option. So we'll see how you go. We try not to move the hips forward or back. We try and keep the hips where they are. We're walking the hands forward. If your hands are on the blanket, you want to come off the blanket, just in case you have a blanket, they're on a mat. So I want to not move my hips forward, back, or forward. I want to move my hands forward, and I want to keep my arms active and melt my heart down, okay? Melt the heart space down and release the head on the floor. So you get this lovely space coming through the spine. It's got to be done by pressing. Well done. That looks great. Because we've made enough space. Yeah, that looks good. So, Kay, just move your hips back a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Very nice. And then see if you can breathe into your back. That's nice. Are you okay, Mother? So you just want to maybe walk your hands a little further forward if you can, Anita, or take your forearms on the chair if you have the chair, because it will really help you open your back. And we'll do some of that next time I see you. Last exhale. Soften as much as you can. Yeah. And then very slowly walk back. If you can sit on your heels, you sit on your heels, feet flat, or you put the bricks between your feet. If you can sit on your heels, just sit, feet are flat, toes not curled under anymore. Dimitrina, toes are not curled under. Make your feet flat. Yeah, and just sit. And take an inhale, interlock your hands, take the palms up. So you interlock the hands, take the palms all the way up. Take your ribs back, please. Take the arms further back. Don't look down. Don't look down. Look straight ahead. So your gaze is eye level. Yeah. So you want to bring the chest forward, the arms back. Soften the ribs. Try not to overarch the back. Okay. Take the lower. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it happens. But and then from here, arms go out to the side. And then bring your palms to your heart space. Elbows go down. Open the chest. Take a deep breath in. Close your eyes. Exhale. We'll do one more inhale. One more exhale. Lower your head. Take your gaze inward. And just do another inhalation. See if you can exhale all the way towards your abdomen. Stay empty for a moment. And then release the hands to your thighs. Namaste, everyone. So thank you for practicing. And I hope you have a good week. Unfortunately, I'm not here next Wednesday. I'm actually away for a few days. So It's just for a few days. So I'll be back the following Wednesday. I think Gemma's going to send a note out. If she hasn't, I said I'd mention it. Okay. So I'm not here next Wednesday, but I'm back to normal for the rest of April and May. Okay. Any question, anything, please just send a message to Gemma. Happy to answer or help with anything. Okay. Have a good week, couple of weeks, and I'll see you the following Wednesday. Namaste. Thank you
Namaste.
for coming on.
Have a nice break.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you. It was great. Thank you.
Pleasure. See you again. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.